if they would just pass the budgets on the main things that need to be funded, and then do their debates and negotiate over the things that are kind of the Rolls Royce items that we don't necessarily have to have that are costing a lot of money.
Obamacare?
Obamacare would be one of those. We would be in good shape, but unfortunately, neither side is going to give, and we have to start looking at cutbacks, because right now, 17 trillion in debt and continuing to climb. We're devaluing the dollar very quickly, and
well, the administration has no concern whatsoever about spending more money. He wants, the debt ceiling to increase, and he wants to keep spending, and so that's an odd way. If any of us ran our household like that, we would be in big trouble.
And in all honesty, I mean, if they go through, the House Republicans are starting to send over bills that fund the essential things that need to be funded to keep things going, to make sure our military is taken care of, to make sure, the unemployment checks, welfare checks, all of that stuff is still going out, and the Senate Democrats keep killing it when it goes over to them, and then they blame the House Republicans. But the essential things that people want would be funded if they would just go ahead and say yes to those things when they came over to them. So
I think if the media wasn't was being fair, I think that people would see.
Well, they're showing it, and you're starting to see a lot of it right now, because I can tell you we've spent well over $80 million on just designing a website to handle and roll out Obamacare, and our
You
website
mean at the state?
in the state of Oregon
Okay.
alone.
80 million?
Yeah, and it's still not ready for prime time. I mean, with all of that money spent, and the fact that we don't have a website that's functioning properly that can handle all the people going to it.
So when people are trying to sign up for the exchange, do they go to the Oregon State website, or do they go to the federal website, or how do they do that?
It would be the state of Oregon. So it's coveroregon.com, I think. I actually haven't been to it. I've seen it and sat there and went through it in healthcare committee and everything. But they just went live with it the other day, and they had some issues with it. It's not functioning, and it's every state. Now, California, they had, they couldn't handle 500,000 people going to their site, and that's in the state of California. In Oregon, we're looking at adding 700,000 people to the system, and it's not ready to handle it.
So first thing is that the president himself and Congress and the Senate in Washington, D.C., they have a more superior health care. They're not signing up for their own health care that they passed. So I'm wondering, where does that fit in with you and the other people at the state? Do you have to be on the exchanges too?
They do not have us on the exchanges. And the way they've set them up and the way they're going about it, I don't completely agree with.
Right,
the one person
I know,
who's been adamantly opposed to it and spoke against it.
So you don't see
that
that's not fair either?
Yeah, we should be on it.
Yeah.
If you're going to basically put everybody else on it, we should be on it as well. But we are covered, like for state employees, you're on what they call PEB, Public Employee Benefit Board, and the state is its own insurance company, and then they basically dispense the funds through Providence or whoever they partner with, but they manage the care themselves because they're 50,000 employees essentially.
So with me personally and my family, then I don't intend on signing up. I haven't looked fully into it, but I don't intend on doing it. I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible.
Right. And it's going to put small businesses like yours in a peculiar situation, because if you buy your insurance off the exchange, you actually get a tax credit for purchasing it there. But it only lasts for 2 years, and then you lose that. And what it's going to do is take private insurance companies, and it's going to hurt them in the long run, because you don't get a tax credit if you keep buying from your private insurance company. So it's cheaper for you to go get it on the exchange, but then you lose that
But as a small business,
credit after 2 years.
As a small business, because most people watching if they have a business, it would be a small business. What's the difference between a small business and a larger business as far as?
Is what they're wanting to do in the beginning is sign up businesses with under 50 employees. So it's getting individuals in, giving small businesses a chance. And it's what you're seeing with some of the larger businesses that were supposed to go on it. They're starting to cut their employees to 30-hour work weeks. So that way they're under it and they don't have to pay it. So the whole thing is becoming a mess, Veronica. And it's hurting people, it's hurting families, because you don't get the extra hours, you won't get the overtime anymore. They're just going to hire more people, which I guess that changes how many people are on unemployment. But now you have a bunch of people that are underemployed, and sometimes having the paycheck to be able to put your kids in sports, to be able to buy them the clothes they need, to be able to buy their school lunches is more important than.
So, yeah, if they're
insurance.
if they're underemployed, but then they still have to buy their individual insurance, isn't that right?
Yep.
So they're underemployed, they're making less money.
Or they get $100 penalty taken out of their check if they are not buying the insurance.
And
I
that's
can tell you-
that's a year annually.
No, that's a month.
Oh, $100 a month.
Yeah. So most people are going to be facing that, and we'll see what happens. That's one of the things Republicans are holding up, because families can't afford this right now. I mean, you can't put this burden on the back of people who are just getting by, and they're putting more people into the category of just getting by because their hours are going to get cut.
Yeah. Well, if nothing else, it's probably not going to work out, but if nothing else, we at least have somebody out there speaking for us, because the whole thing went through slimely, as you know.
Yeah.
Is that a word, slimely? Slimely?
I don't know if
Slimy.
it's-
It was pretty slimy.
Yeah.
Making back room deals and things like that. It wasn't transparent, and it's our money that we're spending. And
there's,
a
I think,
tragedy.
At the federal level, there have been some guys who are honest and are trying to do the right thing to lower the cost. At the state level, there's been some stuff that we've done that's going to help drop the cost of insurance. One of the bills that I was proud and wish I would have been the chief sponsor on at the time, I jumped on as one, but it actually came from a doctor outside. But just allowing small businesses or individuals to go contract with the doctor, hey, will you take care of me for my medical needs? It won't be your major medical, but the day-to-day medical needs that you deal with. You can go and contract with the doctor for like $100 a month, and he'll see you whenever you need to, check on you if you need antibiotics for a cold or something like that. He'll get those antibiotics to you. And
So does that
take care of
count? So you don't get penalized? So you're not on the exchange? It's between you and your doctor at that point?
That will not count with this here. No.
Oh, okay.
But it's opening up healthcare and cutting out middlemen to where people have an opportunity. So now I can carry a high deductible insurance program, but for all my day-to-day needs, I can go here. Another company out there.
So that is in effect right now?
That's in effect in the state of Oregon.
How do people access that?
There's different doctors that do it. You have to reach out to your doctor and see if they'd be willing to do it. Another company out there that I'm a very big supporter of is a company called Zoom Care. And they're urgent care facilities that are all over this kind of the metro area, and they're actually in Washington now. Dave Sanders is one of the founders of it. Dave actually lives in the town of Gaston, and basically they're urgent care facilities where you can look online and see. I can go to Hillsborough, I can go to Lake Oswego, I can go to Tannisbourne, and I got a 15-minute wait at this one, half-hour wait here, 45-minute wait here. You go there, you give them $100, they take care of you, and you walk out the door with your prescription.
But that still doesn't, you have to do the exchange, as you said, with a high deductible.
Yeah.
What I don't like about the exchange is anything with the federal government, is all the things going on with spying and all of that. I just, they put your information in their electrical system, and that's why I want to stay far away from that. It makes me real uncomfortable.
Hey, you should feel happy right now because you can talk on your cell phone, send emails, and you won't be spied on because government shut down.
Yeah, okay. So enjoy it while it lasts.